Welcome to Resilient Minds 365, where we discuss the resilient stories of entrepreneurs, professionals, and students with mental illnesses to encourage you to strive, thrive, and live in abundance. I'm your host, Cleoni Crawford. Good afternoon, good morning, and good night, everyone. So, today is another episode of Resilient Minds 365, and I'm your host, Cleoni Crawford. Today, we have a special guest with us. I'm looking forward to this interview. We have Kellie Poe. Kellie Poe is the founder and CEO of Black Millennials Mental Health, an organization that provides a safe online community, events, and services dedicated to the educational advancement of mental health and wellness for all Black inhabitants from the African diaspora. Ms. Poe is also a mental health coach, originally from the Midwest and raised in the St. Louis metropolitan area in the United States, of course. After relocating to attend the Prairie View A&M University, Houston became her new home in 2017, where she earned her Master's of Science degree in Human Sciences. Ms. Poe has a passion for connecting generations through mental health awareness. With that said, I now present to you Ms. Kellie Poe. Yay!
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm so blessed to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. So maybe Ms. Poe, Kellie, can you tell us a little bit more about your profession? Tell us more about Black Millennials mental health. That sounds so exciting. I've
Yeah.
been a member of it on Facebook, and I love it. So I'd love to know, tell our audience a little bit more about your organization, how you started, why you started, and so forth.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. So as she said, I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri, and partially the Detroit, Michigan area as well. And as many of you know, just kind of being from those areas, there's a lot of poverty, there's a lot of mental illness, there's a lot of just violence within the Black communities in those areas. So growing up within those areas, mental illness, giving back to my community, and just wanting to basically better our access to mental health services and education has always been a drive for me. So it led to God allowing me to create this community, this foundation. And it was founded last year, previous to the pandemic. But I started planning around like in 2019. So it came about, like I said, I've definitely always been around the Black community and just kind of seeing the lack of acknowledgement of mental illness. The whole stigma is like you have to be crazy in order to go get help or just to speak to someone outside of your family. And so that's what really drove my passion for creating something that I did not see in my community and something that I did not see in the world, that I felt like that was very, very, very needed. So that started Black Millennials Mental Health, and our tagline is connecting generations to mental health awareness. And I think that that's a super, super important aspect of the organization, because it highlights, that it's not just millennials that are being affected by mental illness or the stigma that is reliant on, just mental illness in the Black community. It's been, stirring for a while now.
Yes.
It's been generations, just starting from, our transition here, our ancestors' transitions here as slaves, and just that lack of healing over time, and it's been transitioned down from generation to generation. And you can see it through our families. You can see it through our aunts, our mothers, our caregivers, extended family members as well. So that is the drive behind Black Millennials Mental Health. We are here to destigmatize mental illness in the Black community and create that space where people can have that conversation and normalize making mental health a thing, making it a priority within your family, within your community, and within your gang, your team, your friendships, and everything that comes along with that.
Awesome, awesome. So tell us some more. So you started this back, when did you start? You started in 2020 then.
Yeah.
But you
Was-
had it, but it was actually brewing since 2019.
Correct. Yes.
And how many other people are a part of your team?
So at the moment we have a team member of about 10 people. And that includes brand ambassadors, which are our faces of the organization. They go out and share mental health stories to just kind of let people know that they're not alone in this journey. We also have a social media marketing person who just kind of helps us keep our social carbon print together. And we also have like models and mental health ambassadors who also attend colleges, programs, conferences to present about mental health, topics on mental health that can range from depression, anxiety, in the LGBTQIA community. So many different topics to connect with others in the community and to branch off to let them know that Black Millennials mental health is in their community and we're here to help.
Cool, cool. I love it. I love it. And so with your online community, what are you, how many people do you serve so far?
So with our online community, we do have a couple of different platforms. As you spoke about earlier, we do have the private Facebook group. And that consists of almost about 1,000 members right now. But there is, of course, stipulations on joining the group, and it's very filtered to protect everyone's rights and just privacy, as we always promise, as much as possible on the internet as well as possible. We also have just a regular Black Millennials Mental Health Facebook page that anyone is welcome to observe, comment, share. And that serves around 600 people around the world. We also have an Instagram page that serves about around 7,000 people, not 7,000, I'm sorry, 17,000 people around the country as well. And we also have a Twitter account. So, and besides that, our website is always open and always receiving new incoming faces and members, just people that just want to check out the site to just see what Black Millennials Mental Health offers. So we're super, super grateful for everyone that belongs in our communities, that stops by and checks out just to share the word, to access the resources on there, or to even shop for the merchandise. So.
Cool. I did notice that on your site that people can book sessions. Is that like with a mental health coach, or is that with a psychotherapist?
Yes. So Black Millennials Mental Health is a coaching and consulting company, along with being just a community and nonprofit organization. So when you are able to book on the website, that is with a mental health coach. But we do offer mental health consultations, which basically helps you and us to figure out if coaching is kind of what you need, is the right fit for you, or if you'll need just kind of more long-term services, which we can connect you with a therapist personally through our services. And we also offer resources on the website that helps you find a therapist, like therapy for Black men, therapy for Black girls, and just different Black organizations that you can find a therapist that looks like you, whether that be whatever that looks like for you. So So we do have those consultations and coaching sessions offered on the website for everyone. And I would like to point out that it is one of the most affordable coaching sessions and mental health services offered around the United States in general. And we do this because we do want to push that stigma, breaking that stigma against mental illness, and just kind of being able to afford getting access to be able to just talk to someone about just the many things that we struggle with in life every single day.
Okay, awesome. I love it. Love it. And
Yeah.
cool. So the next thing we're gonna go right into the interview.
Okay.
About your mental health part. So what is your mental health diagnosis and when were you diagnosed?
Awesome. That's a great question. So I personally don't have a mental health diagnosis, but I do have family members, close family members that suffer from major depression and bipolar disorder. And they have suffered with those disorders basically all their lives. And most of them being around like 50 and 60 now.
Mhm.
And it was also something that was passed down from their parents because they suffered from major depressive disorder. And I like to just kind of point out too, in that same aspect, that the generation before us and before us, having a mental illness, or just going seeking help, that wasn't a thing, or that wasn't a thing that was really talked about within the family. It was just most of the time something that, hey, we don't talk about that subject, or grandma don't play about that. When you come to our house, that just stays there. So it was those kind of emotions and type of dynamics within the family. So to now be in 2020, or within the last 10 years, to be able to identify those different diseases within the family and things that have trickled down throughout the generations, I say it's definitely an improvement to society, and we're going to be able to get better as well as we go on.
Okay, so you said, from what I understand, so you don't have a mental health challenge, but
No.
people in your family have had them.
Yeah.
So was it your mother, or was your grandmother, or?
Yes, my grandmother and some of my aunts. My mom, she does suffer from seasonal depression.
Okay.
But my aunts suffer from like bipolar disorders, major depression disorders as well. Yes.
Okay. Family members. So how was it like dealing with family members that had the mental health challenge? How did it affect you with your relationship with them, how you viewed them, and how you related to them?
Most definitely. That's a great question. So I would say it definitely affected relationships while growing up. Just not being, I guess, my uncles and aunts, and sometimes my mom as well, because of that seasonal depression, just kind of not being always emotionally available.
Mhm.
So that kind of creates like, an avenue where you have to find another person, to be emotional available for you. And luckily I was blessed to have siblings, but some of my cousins didn't have siblings. And, so they just kind of had to figure out how to navigate through that by themselves, and most of them turned it, just kind of isolation, or, just kind of found things, hobbies like sports or art, to kind of just dive into. So I kind of saw that play out for them in that way,
Mhm.
and kind of hurt some of their social skills, I'll say. And like I said too, for me, just kind of not always having that emotional availability, it kind of, it's like, okay, well, I have to, connect with my sibling more, and things like that. So it definitely affected social relationships. it was, I guess, confusing to see when
Yeah.
people talk about it. So it's like you're a kid, so you're like, I know something's going on. It's like, well, what is going on? What's happening? So nobody's going to talk about it. Nobody's going to say, and that's the talk about the elephant in the room. So, it was that type of environment at times. So, having to navigate through that. And I will, just acknowledge my mom, though, because she was definitely very open about what she struggled with and why she struggled with it and how she, coped with it. She loves to exercise and like dive herself into work. So that was, her way of coping. And I'm grateful that she was able to be like transparent and communicate about it. But like I said, all of my aunts and uncles, they weren't, at that point of getting like, I guess, like medication like they're on now and things like that, to be able to help them better cope with the diseases and mental illnesses and things like that. So yeah, that's a little bit, I guess.
Okay. So would you say that that with their episodes, were they triggered by anything in particular? Was it trauma that you may have learned about? What triggered them, and when did they decide to take medication? At what point did they decide that that was something that they wanted to do?
Most definitely. So some of the events, like I said, they were inherited by their parents. So, it could have been, just kind of nature versus nurture, or both in itself, just kind of developing as your body goes, because we all know our body chemistry change as life goes on. So things like that, having children, different financial struggles, being in, just different economic struggles as well. As the economy goes up and down, things change. And so that kind of led to some of them just kind of going for help for themselves, because they needed that extra help being parents, and kind of just admitting that they couldn't do it alone. It was something going on. They didn't know what was going on. Nobody had ever talked about these symptoms, or, having to feel this way, and, what actually do you do, when you feel this way. So that kind of led to them, like I said, kind of going to seeking help for themselves. And not to this day, as we speak, they're still using just kind of minor medications on lower dosages, and they're doing great. They're doing great. They have grandkids now.
No, that's
So
good.
it's not just kids. So they have grandkids, and have to, just really be. They're grateful to be active and to be able to think and to be able to be in the moment, if that makes sense.
Right. No, that makes sense. So when your mother decided to take medication, was that something that was quite challenging for her? What were some of the drawbacks? What are some reasons why people choose? Maybe you can tell me, why are some reasons why people choose not to take medication? Why do you think?
Okay, yes, great question. So I think when my mom tried to started medication, she was kind of open to it. I guess maybe because of her work environment. They were supportive and stuff like that. So, it wasn't like completely unheard of to her, completely foreign. And then of course, she had us, her kids. So, we just encouraged her to do, whatever makes her healthy. Kids, we just want to see, you just want to see your mom happy and smile and stuff like that. So, and hers followed like her parents' death and things like that. So, but my uncles and aunts, some of them, now I won't say everybody was on board for medication,
Right.
but the people that were, like I said, they're doing great, they're doing fine. And I will point out, with medication, you have to understand that, it's going to take about 6 months to a year for some people, depending on your, your mechanisms and how your body processes the drug. It takes time for your body to normalize that, to recognize it as, hey, this is something that's going to be coming normally. This is my normal routine. So, when doctors, initially give you those certain medications, it definitely may feel funny sometimes. Like, this is something new to your mind, this is new to your body. So, having to give it time to work, or time not to work, whichever works for you. But making sure that you are keeping track of that, hey, this happened, this didn't happen. And making sure that you are communicating with your physician, your mental health provider, about what's going on with you. And making sure that, like I said, that you are giving these medications time to work for you, and giving that time space. So with that being said, I would say there's a lot of time that people will reject taking medications. And I believe that there's so many reasons behind that. It could be historical reasons. A lot of people do not support Westernized medicine due to just history of the Black, especially speaking to the BIPOC and the Black community, of being tested on illegally, just being given medications that are not truly the medications. In the psych world, we call it placebo. Just kind of collecting research on their own, just kind of creating this untrustworthy bond within the Black community. So that's there, and that has to be acknowledged. That can't be ignored when we're speaking about medication and trying these different methods to treat mental illness. There can also be just personal medical preconditions that family members might have. For example, diabetes, hypertension, COPD. There's many things that we carry within just kind of our bloodlines that could trigger some of these different medications and create an off-verse outcome. So that's valid. I'll speak to just a personal experience. It wasn't, actually it was. So one of my god sisters was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And she was given medication. She was prescribed medication. I'm not for sure the medication because I was a little younger, but I promise y'all I'm gonna dig into that just to make sure. But she was prescribed some medication, and come to find out it was the wrong medication that she was prescribed for bipolar 2, to be specific. Right. Bipolar 2, and it ended up creating Stevenson's disease. Stevenson's disease is a disease where your organs basically inflame inside of you and basically burn your body. So my sister passed away some years ago, rest her soul, to Stevenson's disease due to mental illness. So that's just another, just fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
Behind my drive. That's why I said it just runs deep within, just my family and things like that. And I've been fortunate enough to be able to just be introduced and exposed to mental health, coping skills, therapists, support systems. Like, I've been very, very blessed along the way to not have to, suffer through these such mental illnesses. But like I said, we all go through financial struggles. We all go through loss of loved ones, and that definitely creates anxiety, that creates sadness, that creates a depression. So no, I haven't been diagnosed with a mental illness, but I do, go through different emotions that requires me to make sure I'm seeing my therapist. I keep my therapist on retainer. I keep the coaches and your therapists on retainers. But I see them, see my coaches, see my therapists, I see my mentors, my support systems, those types of things. So, even with or without being diagnosed, those things are important to your life and to your mental health and how you grow and how you take care of yourself every single day.
Right. That's good. That's good. Keep your therapists and your coaches on retainer. Love it.
And your lawyer, but
Indeed, and your lawyer, of course, of course. So let's talk about therapy. Let's talk about therapy.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on therapy? Why do you think it's important that people should get therapy? Why do you think people in the Black community do not like therapy? What are your thoughts? Yeah.
Most definitely. So I think that it takes me back to being in my master's program, a training program, and we had to actually write a paper about this and had a debate about it, whether therapy sessions should be mandatory for the students within the program or vice versa. And of course, I stood for it, and with the understanding and with the respect of everybody having their boundaries and everybody having their reasons to want to approach therapy when they want to, because everybody may not be ready. Yeah. Excuse me, sorry. Everybody may not be ready at the time, and it's not good to force people to, be in that position if they're not ready. And I do believe that. But I do believe that if you're going to be a therapist, if you're going to coach people, it's wise that you are in that position, in that vulnerable position, to feel what the client is feeling like, to be able to relate to them, because it's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to, be, whether it's telehealth or being in someone's office, face to face, or in your home, because some therapists go in home. It's not easy for a client or for you, to just kind of be yourself, take off all the layers of your clothing, and just kind of be and show up as you unapologetically. So it's not easy. And then not only that, but you got to explore some things about your childhood, about some things that may have been just kind of generally passed down through you. So, that requires a level of vulnerability, a level of strength, a level of just being able to be ready, to be open. So I definitely applaud anyone who has went to therapy, is thinking about therapy, is helping someone else to get to therapy, or coaching, to be able to, just talk to someone outside of the family. Traditionally, it's not okay, I guess, to talk to someone outside of your household or outside of your religious beliefs, whether that be, whatever that is, a church, a pope, or, whatever that may look like for you. It's not traditionally like, okay, or your friends. So that's definitely could be one of the reasons why, the Black community is not so go-ho on therapy. And, I think that times are changing as well now. Even in, pop culture, things are changing. And mental health and therapy sessions are definitely being more promoted, to take care of yourself. Not having to be the strong Black woman or strong Black man. Right. And that's important. So I definitely understand the dynamics of, the hesitation to go into therapy traditionally. But I would just like to put in there and encourage you guys that it is looking different now. There are more people that look like us, that are coaches and therapists, that are here and willing to make this change, and just creating, and people that are creating safe spaces just like you, to be able to, be open and talk about these experiences with other people, to let them know that they're not alone.
Yes.
Do think that, different things have come along just kind of in the past, as far as like, being able to have to mandatory reporting. So we do have to report about childhood abuse or elder abuse. So things like that. And I think some things have been misconstrued over in the past with people, and that kind of ran people away, kind of turned people off from it. Also, just kind of how it used to look in the past. It always used to be, the traditional white American man that's doing therapy. But we're shaking it up now, y'all. Like it's just not them anymore. It's all of us. BIPOC community.
Right. It's not the same. It's not the same image of people. It's we have a multicultural group of people who are representing mental health now.
Yes, we do. Everywhere, y'all. So, you don't have to feel like, hey, this is weird. I know everybody likes to use that word now. That's some weirdo stuff. So no, it's not weirdo stuff. We are going through this struggle together. I'm literally in Houston, and we just endured a winter storm where we had to go without electricity and water for days. So talk about mental health, you know what I mean? You can't focus on your mental health when your basic needs are not met. And that's something that I acknowledge and I understand. And so let us meet you where you are. So, yeah.
Awesome. So what would you recommend to others who are living with mental health challenges, things that they can do to overcome or bounce back from their low points? List all the resources that you can think of.
Most definitely. So a couple of things that I'll say for people that are struggling with mental illness and maybe at the lowest points of their life. I will say that if you're listening to this, just understand and know that you are not alone. And we are definitely here. Black Millennials Mental Health is here to help you at your lowest points. With that being said, we can be one of your support systems. Support systems are super important when you are struggling with mental illness and just in general, to make sure that you have a solid support system, people that can help you and connect you to different services of your life, services that you may be needing, different, and whether that be like a religious leader that you have or anything like that, make it fit for you. So using your mental health resources, you're not alone, and making sure that you are not afraid to ask for help. I understand, it's not an easy thing to do. And, it's not I guess a familiar thing within our communities to be able to reach out and ask for help. But it's a different day, it's a different time, and you have to put you regardless to what's going on around you. Choose you every single time, and go ahead and ask for help, whether that be in your local communities, whether you're Googling, whether you're going on www.bmmh.org and you're clicking on those resources. We have resources for teens that may be thinking about suicide, who may be thinking about running away. We have social resources. We have suicidal prevention resources and coaching resources. So make sure that you are definitely asking for help when you need it, and not just kind of like letting it go away, like thinking that it will go away and that it won't happen again, because it will pop up in your life somewhere.
True. Very true. Very true. Okay. And so what words of hope can you give to our listeners? What would you tell them for people who are listening and they are struggling with a mental health challenge?
Yes, most definitely. First, I would like to thank them for tuning in and just kind of listening to this conversation. Even if you're not feeling at your best, even if you're not feeling the most encouraged, I want to let you know that you are enough. You are enough the way you show up every single day. You're enough at this single moment right now, even if you're not feeling at your best. Mental illness is definitely a journey. It's no destination, it's no date that you can kind of put on it, like, and just say, hey, I'm going to be better this day. It's a journey, it's a roller coaster. It goes up some days, it goes down some days. But you choosing yourself every single day and allowing yourself to believe that you are enough, it creates that space for you to grow and to heal, just from the past things that you may have been going through, or things that you're going through right now. Because we definitely are still going through a pandemic, even though, there are vaccines out. There are a lot of people that lost their jobs, a lot of people that lost a lot of family members. It's a lot of trauma. And I just want to encourage you to come on to Black Millennials Mental Health, or your surrounding local mental health physicians, to get some help. Just be able to let it out, be able to talk to someone, because trauma is held within your body. You have to deal with it. You have to heal it. You have to manage it, learn how to cope with it. And we're not trying to, and that's one thing about therapy too. I'll say that our goal is not to keep you for 3 to 5 years. We're not trying to do that. Our goal is to help you become independent and to learn how to cope and manage yourself and manage your emotions and manage your behaviors, to be able to become a better person, become a better you in this world, whatever that looks like for you. So I just want to say that to go ahead and further destigmatize therapy and coaching. It's not a long-term thing. And I will say some people do require long-term care, and that's cool. That's okay. Life changes every single day. We deal with a new struggle and a new trial and a tribulation every single day. Exactly. Every single day. So do what works for you, but don't be afraid to reach out and just try something new. What do you have to lose?
Exactly. What do you have to lose? So we're going to switch up the interview now. We are going to talk about music therapy. As you can see behind me, there's a book.
Yes.
That says the music of my life. And that's basically about my journey, my personal journey with mental health and music therapy. And so with that said, I always ask this question. What type of music do you like?
Awesome. So I like all music, basically.
You're eclectic like me.
Yeah, I love music that feels good to my soul and to my spirit. So, a lot of music ranging from R&B, ranging from jazz, whether it be soul, whether it be hip hop, whether it be pop, country, whether it be just instrumentals, African beats, just different things. I love, like I said, I love anything that kind of makes my body and my mind feel good.
That's good. Okay. So with that said, I'll ask you, if you were to think of a song that best describes your journey, what would it be and why?
That's a great question. So there's a lot of songs that come to mind, but I'll choose one. So there's a gospel song that is really popular here in the United States. And it's called, it says, no one told me that the road would be easy, and I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. So
can't give up now.
Yes.
Mary.
Yes. And there's different versions.
Different versions, right.
I like the different versions too, but Mary is legendary on singing that. I listened to them growing up. So that I chose that song because I have definitely experienced a lot of trials and tribulations growing up, and just being myself and always wanting to grow personally, mentally, emotionally, and physically. So always putting myself in positions to grow and to be introduced to new cultures and be around people. And so I know that, my faith and God has brought me through every situation, despite, the ups and downs. So I know he's still with me, and I'm ready to see what else is in store.
All right, awesome, awesome. All right, so I guess that will lead me to my last question. How can we stay in touch with you, and what are your social media handles?
Awesome, awesome. So I'm definitely inviting all you guys to stay in touch with me, whether that be in our private group on Facebook. If you are needing a private community to just kind of relax, just kind of have a catharsis, emotional release, come on over. It's Black Millennial Mental Health. And you will have you will be screened to make sure that you are there for what you say you are there for, and to make sure that you're respecting everybody else's rules and privacy. But we definitely invite you to come on over into a Facebook group. We also have just a general Facebook page that you can like and follow to keep up with us with all our events coming up. We also have Instagram page and a Twitter page, and all of them are the same handles, Black Millennials Mental Health. Make sure you spell millennials right. That's MILLENNIAL, y'all. So make sure y'all spell it right, and that's all of our handles. And please, 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 please check out our website, www.bmh.org. There you'll find a lot of information, including about our services, our mental health services, about joining our team as an employee. We offer a lot of different positions, and we are hiring at the moment. You'll find information about our community partners, like Ms. Cleona. You can see that on our homepage, and definitely a lot of more information about our clothing, our merchandise,
Yes.
just how we are being engaged in the community and uplifting our core principles and mission statements. So please, please, please come over and check it out. Membership is free. You can also sign up for our Safe Rewards program that you can earn free points every time you shop and just kind of stay connected with us. So definitely go head over, check on in with us at BMMH, and make sure you become a member to stay connected with us. Membership is free.
Awesome. Thank you so very much, Kelly. This has been a really great interview. I really enjoyed talking with you today. And with that said, to all you resilient minds out there, until next time, please subscribe to us on all our platforms, and don't forget to rate the show and leave a review for us on Apple Podcasts. Also, join the community of resilient minds and sign up for our monthly newsletter at www.cleonicrawford.com. Be sure to grab a copy of my book, The Music of My Life, on all Amazon marketplaces to get to know me better. And if you can think of one person that will receive value from today's show or connect with Kelly's testimonial, please share it with them. Feel free to take a screenshot of this week's episode of the podcast and tag us on Instagram. You can tag myself at Only Cleoni or Resilient Minds 365, and today's guest at Black Millennials Mental Health.
Yes.
And remember, mental health is not a death sentence. Despite your illness, you can strive, thrive, and live a life of abundance. Until next time, I'm Cleoni Crawford, and I'm signing off.